Hi everyone, coming straight from that last reading, trying to get a couple of things. I just had a lot of energy today. I'm trying to hook onto a couple of those threads and just blast those out so they're out of the way and I can go on my walk with my dog without this sort of energy in my body that's not mine. So I'm picking up now on you and your dynamic and your situation. I'm actually I wasn't doing cards, but I'm gonna pull a card for a one card reading for your situation for today. We got Apocalypsis. I don't have I do have the book, but it's kind of old and battered. I don't think that this answer is in there, but I love this beautiful art. Looks like lace to me. Of course, that makes me think of Apocalypse and even the movie Apocalypto. I don't know if you've seen that. It's about sort of like a hero's journey story about Aztec peoples surviving being pillaged by other tribes. It's really great. I think you are in a place right now where you feel that something that you worked hard for is being taken or pillaged, or you had no choice, you had no say in the matter, and it wasn't fair. It wasn't what you wanted to happen, and you really had no control. But this situation was meant to teach you how little control we do have, and to focus on the things we do have control of. For today, that might be a really small thing, but when we regain control over the small things, we can start to manage the bigger things. I feel like the lace in this image is related to seeing through a pattern, because lace is a pattern, but it's made organically and creatively. There's definitely patterns here, but once you can see sort of through it and the intricacies, it becomes more basic and less complicated. So you can see all these little tiny holes here, but when you zoom back, you can see this greater architecture that this artist has created to make this card. It's just like your life. So the small becomes big, the big becomes small, the micro becomes macro, the macro becomes... I feel like my guides are wanting me to tell you that this is a time of resting. This is not, don't push. And the resting doesn't mean you're sleeping all day. No, in terms of Kundalini practice, I don't know if you know anything about that. We want to have periods of the day that are very active, and then periods of the day that are not active, periods where we're outputting, and then periods where we're inputting energy. So make sure that's balanced. My guides are telling me I'm seeing a lot of people behind you, spiritual guidance, beings that are with you. They're not necessarily people you've known. Sometimes we're assigned spirit guides that we don't know from other walks of life, other energies. It may be a good time to connect with some of those. This is your guides. It's my guides are showing me your guides, that you're protected, you're safe with these collective watching you. It might be a good time to connect with some of that higher energy, because a lot of times we feel like we're all alone and how am I going to figure this out? This is just overwhelming. I'm feeling your overwhelm. I'm seeing piles of paperwork, boxes. Maybe you're moving, maybe you're in transition in some way, but in terms of rest, it's not just physical rest that you need to do. And it's not about abstaining from doing things that matter. It's about getting enough rest so you can do the things you need to do well. I want to get one last card. Oh, we got the Temple. So the Temple is it's just really more basic. I want you to pray, and your guides want you to pray. Not for an outcome, not for something to happen, but this is like a time to, the next 3 months, I think, around that time. That's the amount of time it takes the body to reset after trauma in terms of cortisol levels and synaptic, parasympathetic issues. Anyway, so in 3 months from now, you're going to be less stressed, and you're going to need this recuperative time. Because in 3 months from now, there's going to be an opportunity, financial or relational, that leads to financial, that will take you by surprise, because you have been in a nothing works out mentality. And it's going to shock you, because it's going to show you that no matter how much you plan or try for things, or make things budge into place, there's a greater plan that we're not part of. I mean, we're part of it, but we're not planning. I think the major message for you from my guides is like, slow down, slow way down, take it easy. In Al-Anon, you know, I'm in this program called Alcoholics Anonymous. Sorry, it's not Alcoholics Anonymous. It's Al-Anon. It's support for people who are friends and family of alcoholics. I'm not an alcoholic. Not that I would judge myself for that, but I actually can't drink because I have horrible gut issues, and I haven't had a drink for almost 7 years. But why am I bringing that up? This may be a time for you to reevaluate what you're putting into your body, what is toxic, and sometimes toxic things can be a little helpful, like similar to if you have an allergy, you get immunotherapy, a little dose of that thing you're allergic to. But right now, I think this is a period of cleansing. I'm also seeing a vulture. Vultures are animals that, it's kind of gross, but they have like a self-cleansing mechanism. I don't even understand it, but something about how they go to the bathroom, like, cleanses. I'm never gonna get into it. They represent like something about regeneration, similar to a snake. They're always there when death comes, but they have things built into their DNA that make it so they can still regenerate and reassemble after trauma. And it has to do with how they go to the bathroom. And the vulture can be a very scary symbol because it can be about death. There could be a literal death that you're preparing, your body knows is coming, not your death. Maybe an animal or someone older who is sick, that you can feel there's an impending, like, sort of doom. Rest easy though. Rest easy, because it's not up to you, and we never know how long people have. So that's on your mind, but try to let that go, because try to just sort of drop that into the river and let that be taken, because that's not up to you. And to be honest, this person, this animal, whoever it is, they have more time than you think. And you need to focus on your life, your body, your goals, and yeah, and just trying to find peace and gratitude for where you're at. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great day.